Good morning, dear students. Welcome to today's session of First PU English. The continuation part of the lyrical poem, or you can call it as a lyric by one of the romantic poet of English literature, William Blake. Okay, dear students, yesterday we have completed first and second stanza and we have dealt with the three lines of third stanza, where we have seen the feelings of the boy or the plight of the boy spending time in the classroom. Okay, the plight of the boy in the classroom we can take like that. Okay, and here, see, I will go back to few lines to the beginning of this third stanza and come again to continue in a better manner here. Oh, then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower, on through with the dreary shower. Okay. See here, in the school premises or around the school, in the school, he never get any delightment, any kind of happiness or joy, even if we read book also. Why? We say book is a good friend of man. The acquaintance with the book should be like a friend. The good friend of a man or a student is the book, we say, and they provide knowledge, they provide a kind of balanced mindset and even the knowledge to us. But whereas William Blake says that the students who goes to the school, sits in the classroom and takes the textbook to read, and he feels monotonous and he expresses his wish as nor even get delight even though he reads book, nor sit in learning's bower. Means here learning's bower is the garden where nature can teach. Even if he goes to the park or the green place in the school campus, which is maintained very well by the management, the authority, school authority, even if you go there and sit under the tree so that you can get better concentration or attention to read the book, so that you can get better teachings in the company of nature. But whereas he feels like on through with the dreary shower. Yes, the continuous flow of the words of the teacher, the continuous explanation of the teacher on the topics prescribed by the system or the school administration makes him, as he feels, he was completely worn, he was completely frustrated, exhausted, tired, with the continuous flow of the words of teacher here. So that is what dreary shower is. The teaching or the explanation of the teacher inside the classroom is like dreary shower. The shower of words, the continuous, speech to the students on the typical topics where the students never feel happy, interested in listening. So that is the condition and that is the situation William Blake takes up and he terms it as a dreary shower. You can imagine. Yes, of course. Because if you see the age of the students, the growth of the mind of the students, really we feel very bad. Really we feel very sad that such a kid getting a topic of a standard in the name of development, in the name of competitiveness or competition, the modernization or the globalization, the highly advancement in information technology makes people practice such things. So it is the same situation here. William goes against such kind of teachings, against the system that forces the school boy, to read. And even though he never feel like reading, he never likes the topic and the syllabus framed by the system, framed by the government, but there is no other way or solution to the students except reading the syllabus prescribed by the system or government. He has to go through. He has to get the information what was there in the textbooks. So he opposes, William Blake opposes that kind of training to the schoolboy here. And moving on to the next stanza. How can the birds that is born for joy, how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How is it possible? The bird is born to enjoy, to fly freely in the sky, to fly wherever it wants, to fly up and down, and the birth of the bird is to enjoy, he is to feel happy with its own journeys in the sky. So that is what the poet says here. And how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? And so in such situation, if you catch the bird and forcefully, if you keep that bird in a cage under your observation, okay, in the cage, and if you tell or instruct the bird to sing, how can it sing? It's not possible, isn't it? Yes, it's not possible for a bird which is in the cage to sing, because you have arrested the bird, you have forcefully captured the bird and make your slave and forced to sit in the cage, and after you have caged the bird in a cage and you are imposing or telling the bird to sing, means So no bird can sing in a prison like a cage. So that is why. How can it sing? It is not possible. Then, how can a child when fears annoy? How can a child when fears annoy, but droop his tender wing? But droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring. Yes. How can? How can it is possible for a child when all of a sudden all the fears annoys him, disturbs him, tortures him, and but droop his tender way when he sits, and in his younger age, that is the age of growth, that is the age of grow himself as he feels, experience the natural things or beauties, and forget his youthful spring. And in the same monotony, in following the unnecessary things or impositions by the man, by the parent, by the school, by the government, by the system. So all the youthful spring or the youthful merry happiness will be lost. Yes. See, the boy is young now. We have to provide him favorable, comfortable, happy situation to enjoy his life. We should allow him to do whatever he likes. We should give him freedom. We should allow him to play in the company of nature. We should give him permission to eat whatever he likes, to play whatever play he likes or game he likes. And we should give to some extent wherever he wants to go. Leave him. And we should free him like a bird so that he will spend his time with happiness. So that is what the parent has to do here. And that is what the actual responsibility of a parent here. And the government or the system should frame a situation so as to keep the child happier and spend the time happily in the company of his friends, in the company of the books. So according to the age, according to the will and wish of the boys here, keeping the age, mentality, wish and will of the children, kids in the school, they have to frame the syllabus. And they have to arrange the time for their enjoyment as such, entertainment as such. So then only a proper growth of a child can take place. Then only an all-round development of a child can take place. Because the children have a certain period to start absorbing things into their minds. The brains are now too young, too immature, they have no energy, stamina, stability to grasp the things, whatever we load onto them forcefully. We should not take up the topics or subjects from spirituality, from philosophy, from psychology as like religion as such. Because they are small kids, The things that we are going to teach should make them happier, should make them dance and sing among his classmates in the classroom. Even the teacher should accompany the students. So that is what he wished. Then moving on to the next stanza. He questions the society here. He questions the parent here. And he questions the very system that has framed the unnecessary terms and conditions, rules and regulations for a child in giving training, teachings in the name that the children will grow or grasp and become intelligent, knowledgeable. Because no, it will cause adverse effects in the child's mind. When child feels that it is not possible for him to do, when he feels that he can't grasp the things, when he feels that the teachings in the classroom are not at all the things that he has to learn, when he feels bored of the words of the teacher or the syllabus, we can never expect any kind of betterment or development in the life of a child here or schoolboy here. Now, look at the poem here. I think you're all observing the lines in the textbook. Oh, father and mother. See, a very interesting information in this stanza. It is a message to the parent here about the frustration of the student. Even the student explains, answers, or wants his parents, or puts forth his difficult, situations, time in front of the children, and he wanted to educate his parents in this stanza like this. Oh, father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay. Yes, dear students, a very important stanza of the poem that I feel here, because it is more meaningful, or every parent has to follow this or understand this and implement in their life to bring up their children. Oh, father and mother, if buds are nipped, means tenderly, newly born, buds, small flower-like things. And if you just cut them in that age, or you pick it in that age, cut it in the age, that's what nipped means. We say chivutu haku in Kannada. Chivutu. Okay. Yes. How we remove the flowers from the plant. Okay? Chivutu haku means ಎರಡು ಉಗುರಿನ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ Napier. And blossoms blown away. The fresh born plants, blossoms means. And these freshly born flowers or plants not at all had a strongly rooted into the soil, because they are still growing, young, small, yes, fresh. And if the wind blows faster, and all these freshly born plants will blows away. And it is the same condition, the plight of the schoolboy here also. See, his brain is so young and so innocent that it cannot grasp, that cannot receive the things that are taught or trained in today's schools, because the syllabus is complex, because the topics and the syllabuses are very difficult, huge. They cannot understand the things. Why? Because the schoolboy's brain is very young, it is fresh, it is just growing and started experiencing the world here. And if the tender plants are stripped, again, the tender means fresh, young, or stripped or devastated of early growing stage, ಇನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಯೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಲುಕಿಸಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಇಷ್ಟನೇ ಬರಬಾರ್ದು ಆ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು. Isn't it? We make our children like that in the name of development, in the name that our children will become more intelligent. And we have a possessive and a demanding nature that we want our children to be first when compared to others. So that is the intention that our parents have today. So now children, in 5th stanza of the poem, we see there is a bit concentration to be given here, and you should keep these things in mind, because in the beginning itself I told you that we go in general and you look at the topic or the title of the poem, the schoolboy here, because we all are experienced the school days life, and that is why we are very much familiar with this topic, title of the poem of William Blake here. So that is why we go general. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದದ್ದು ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ದು ಏನೇನೋ. ಸೊ ಜನರಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ಸನ್ನು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಇಫ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ನಾವು So that is why your answers must be textual. You have to pick out the lines from the text, from the poem, and you have to quote them in your answer and try to explain few things about those lines to the question here. Whatever, so study the question and understand it, and guess out the stanzas to be answered or the lines to be inserted, quoted, then quote them as it is in the textbook, the form and structure, within quotes, double inverted commas, and then try to explain, review those lines of your quote in your answers. Then you will get a competitive marks or a good mark for your answers, and these lines are very important here. And if the tender plants are stripped of the joy in the springing day, by sorrow and care's dismay. Yes. The age at present, the schoolboy, the age of schoolboy is a very tender age. And it is a springing time, growing time for the child. Because we have to make the child to feel happy, to get involved in all walks of life, all sorts of things that are going to helpful to make him feel happy, so that the growth of the boy should go in positive manner or in a healthy manner as such. So we never ever try to keep him in difficult time situations. We should not harm the boy with our possessiveness or demanding natures. We should not force them to have things according to our taste. So we should let them to have their own things, food, place, or whatever they like, isn't it? So that is the thing, because it is that sort of life. It requires lots of disciplinary attitudes in shaping the future of the child here. The parent has to take care. The society has to think about the position, about the age, about the condition of the children, and it should understand what are the importance of this growing stage, this small age kids, about these things. So when you compare to nature, it is the springing time. So that is why it says, and if the tender plants are stripped, they are devastated of their joy in the springing day. So in that age of joy, happiness, youth, young days, if we strip, if we force them, if we give them lot of compulsions, then what happens? Of the joy in the springing day, by sorrow and care's dismay. So in the name of care, in the name of bringing up the children, and in the name of development, in the name of love and affection, in the name of responsibility, he becomes more possessive, the parent, demanding of their children here. So he never comes out of that world where he wanted to make his child first in the society, first in his locality. So he forces the child, which is harmful for the growth of the child in his young youthful days, that is compared to springing day here. The last stanza of the poem: how shall the summer arise in joy? How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer's fruits appear? So if that is the case, if you deal with your children with such compulsions, such strict instructions, such heavy topics or syllabus, and if you force them to do things in their life in that young age, how shall the summer arise in joy? So the season summer is, dear students, is nothing but it is the age some age of fruits. Okay, and it fills the honey. Okay, season of fruits. Isn't it? When the trees and plants begins to give us the fruits with the full of honey and sweet, is that, and it is the age of the boy here is represents summer season. The boy. Season of means the age, youth. And it is the age where he can have all round developments. Physically, mentally, psychologically, he is going to develop a lot if we provide a better climate, a better training, treatment to the child here. So, it is the schoolboy's age is considered to the summer season here. So that is why he says, how shall the summer arise in joy? How shall these youthful days young boy can come up with joy? Or the summer's fruits appear? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy? And how can we gather? If these difficulties, if these sorrows, if these instructions and force of the system and the parents affects and removes, spoils these things, how can you get back those things? Once it is destroyed, once it is snipped or stripped, once it is cut, once it is devastated, once if you spoil it, you can never get back those things again. So that is why, that is the thing it says. What? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy? We cannot gather later in a part of life. Oh, I have given lots of works, difficult situations to my child. Okay, I have bothered him a lot during his young age. So for his bad situation today, I am the reason. So I wanted to bring back those days. I wanted to present him those days of his childhood. If the parents feel like that, they never ever can give those old days of the school boy's life here. So that is why, how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer's fruits appear, or how shall we gather what griefs destroy, or bless the mellowing season, mellowing here, when the blasts of winter appear. Mellowing ear, once again, it is called as mellowing ear. And it's same period or season or the age of the boy where he starts growing in in many directions. Means it is the period, it is the time for the child or the schoolboy to develop in many angles of his life, that is in physical attributes, mentally, psychologically. So he has to develop a lot. The positive development must take place in the life of the child here. So that is why the parent has to be more careful, responsible in molding, in shaping, in taking care of their children here. So that is why once if the parent, the system or the government understands this reality, and I think the children's growth will be more positive or improve positively and becomes more strong and healthy to face the hurdles of life here. So that is why, see, once again I will read the last stanza of the poem. How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer's fruits appear, or how shall we gather what griefs destroy, or bless the mellowing ear when the blast of winter appear. Blast means, remember, blast of winter, the chill currents of the deadly wind, chill currents. Deadly wind, the storm, the thunderstorm, okay, the tempest, the heavy winds. And it oppresses, it suppresses. See what? These strong winds, these tempests, oppresses, suppresses the very physical growth of the boy, mental growth of the boy, and the psychological ways of the boy will completely oppressed, suppressed, depressed, spoiled by the very treatment, training, teachings of the modern man or the modern government or system in these days. Don't go or blame the author William Blake, since he has no comfortable situation in his childhood to have formal education, that's why he is complaining. No, don't think like that. If you go back to our olden days, ancient India, and if you search how the trainings, teachings were given to the children by the sages, rishis, panditas or yogis to our children. It is in the company of nature, under the shades of trees and plants. The teachings were provided or delivered to the students. It is the system of Gurukula type of education that we had in our ancient days. Think of Rabindranath Tagore's Shanti Niketana in that matter. If you take that, it is a school of forest, where the children are provided the teachings in the company of nature, with the trees and plants, with the natural water space, in the natural space, where in the fresh air the teachings are delivered to the children. And he is encouraging the very natural type of teaching, training to the children, especially the school children, because they are too young, because they have no strength to absorb things what the modern man has prescribed for them to study in their young, tender life as such. Totally, finally, he says that they spoils the condition of these children, life of children, health of children, the very physical features of the children, where all will be spoiled by the very system or the teaching or the syllabus of the government or the society of today is concerned. See how beautifully he ends up the poem. How shall the summer arise in joy? Summer means the mellowing age or the growing period or the young age of the boy here. If you don't provide it all sorts of comforts according to its wish and will, will and wish of the child, so I don't think there will be a proper growth, healthy growth, and the child can grow very stronger as such. No. So that is why. How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer's fruits appear? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy? Or bless the mellowing ear when the blasts of winter appear? No, never, never. So it is too late. If you restrict your children, if you be more possessive towards your children, if you treat him with strictness, and if you have spoiled all the life of the child, and if he became mad, unenthusiastic about life and learning and school and syllabus, I don't think your child will grow healthily. And later in his life, I don't think he can achieve things in his life. And I don't think he can be successful in his life. Why? Because he has lost the very interest in his life towards constructing his personality or future as such. So, dear children, we will wind up today's class and we will take up. So, I have completed the reading and the text and all the content of the poem here. So now, in next class, we are going to discuss the themes of the poem here. So by then, take care, bye.